You are listening to The Guide, entertainment.ie's weekly TV podcast with Fiona Flynn and David O'Shaughnessy.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Guide, where this week we're talking about The X-Files and the brand new series, which is just over the halfway mark now.
Yes.
Ours are 3 episodes in, even though we've only had it really on TV for 2 weeks now, but we were treated to a double whammy last week. Were you a big fan of it back in the day?
I wouldn't necessarily say I was a big fan, but I was also like a fan. You know what I mean? Like I was. It was a sensation, you know, and I was aware of it, and I was probably quite a bit young. I don't know if I was technically allowed to watch the X-Files.
Yeah, I wasn't a bit bold to watch it.
Yeah, but it was, you know, definitely something I was aware of and knew how big a deal it was. I remember like everyone Mulder and Scully is such a definitive part of the 90s and of a lot of people our generation's television experience. So yeah, I guess fan you could call me that.
Yeah, I think it was impossible not to be aware of it back in the 90s. It was one of the most successful TV shows of that whole decade, I'd say. Like, I mean, it was obviously a completely different genre to Friends, but it was that, like, you know, if you're kind of thinking of TV characters of the 90s, you were looking at the cast of Friends and then you're looking at Mulder and Scully side by side.
Exactly.
So it has that kind of huge status.
I mean, it appeared in The Simpsons. There was a whole X-Files episode of The Simpsons. Like, kind of shows how much of a milestone
exactly,
it is.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was a lot of curiosity about how it would go, because it's been rumoured for years, that they might bring it back.
Because they were going to do a second film. Correct?
Yeah.
And then that kind of petered out and then it turned into this? Is that how it happened? Or
I think so, yeah. There was talk of the film, there was talk of a reboot, and then I think it was only really at some point, I think about 6 months ago, it was just confirmed. But like that, I think there was the big worry would be would they get Chris Carter back, who was the guy that was basically the showrunner and creator, and of course Mulder and Scully. But sure, they've got loads back. They've got Mulder, Scully, Chris Carter, Frank Skinner, actor, smoking man that has that weird tube thing.
Yeah. Tracheotomy.
Yeah, exactly. So, there was a big worry, I suppose, would it kind of tarnish, same as anything when they bring back these shows, it would tarnish the memory of the original.
It was worth it. Did they voice those concerns with those things?
I think fans. I don't know if they were worried about it.
I know Gillian Anderson was just busy because I kind of felt like she was gone away. And then all of a sudden...
Oh, no, I know. I mean, sorry, with fans were worried when they agreed that it was coming back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think that was what was stopping Mulder and Scully. I think it was just they were delighted with the extra work, although she's doing brilliant.
I was like, no, because I remember her talking about her film schedule. I can't remember what she was doing. Oh, it was that she had The Fall. She was doing The X-Files. And she was in the last season of Hannibal. Yeah. And she has 3 shows in the go and would literally like fly in and out, go to Belfast, fly out, go to LA, fly out, go to wherever. So it was crazy. Like she thought she was gone and then suddenly she's everywhere.
I know, yeah. She's such a fantastic actress though, because like so often, I mean, I know the idea of being an actress is that you can completely incorporate different roles. But like, do you know, like Detective Stella and Detective like Scully are just completely opposite ends of the scale. Like, and you know, so often like that you see people in different roles and you just see that same actor no matter what they do, no matter what they play. Yeah, exactly. Like no matter what you do, you're still seeing them as, you know, like, oh, there's Matt LeBlanc in this movie, there's Matt LeBlanc. But
there's Joey.
Yeah, Gillian Anderson is just completely different, like in both those roles.
If you ever got a chance to do, I think the BBC made a Great Expectations and she was Mrs. Havisham. She's very good at it.
Really? Yeah, she's hugely talented. Yeah. So far, the first episode I thought was good, but that it was sort of hurtled its way through. It's like, we're back and we're going to establish this plot, and this plot, and also Mulder and Scully again.
I thought it was the first episode, and the second one a bit too was just a hot mess. Like I was like, the first one in particular, I was like, how is this hour long or like 42 minutes or however like minute it was, like it didn't make sense. It really felt like they were like, we need to get all the things into one tiny point and have no one really think about, like no one seemed to be considering their actions in any of the plot scenes. It was like, let's go do this, let's go to this, let's get in this car, let's talk to this person, let's just follow our noses. And we like, there was no, it just felt all over the place. There was no development. I didn't know where Scully had been, apart from like, oh, I'm in a hospital now, I look after 6 children. Where has Mulder been? It's like, I'm still a bit mad. Like,
Mulder's been off questioning his existence for the last whatever many years.
I know, but I would like show us that gently. Don't just have them tell us.
Yeah.
Like it just felt so heavy-handed. I felt like the entire episode, like you said, it was so rammed full of things that maybe they were told, oh, we'll give you a 90-minute or 2-hour comeback episode.
Yeah.
And they wrote that, and they're like, no, actually, you're only going to get 6 episodes, and the first one has to be just the first one, unless you want to lose another episode. And they were like, oh crap, we promised everyone else, writers, these episodes, so we're just going to have to make the 2-hour episode a 1-hour episode.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can explain. There like must be a director's cut out there by
It
Chris
feels
Carter.
that way, yeah. They kind of just jumped in, and like even after I'd seen it, I was like, okay, I think yeah, I understand what's happening now, basically. And Jeff Winger, that's a good example of
Jeff Winger.
the community actor
Yeah.
Dan. What's his name? Dan McHale or Joel McHale.
Joel McHale.
That literally the whole time I was like, I just feel like this is Jeff Winger from Community, just
Yeah,
kind
like,
of
yeah.
suited up and like you know
Yeah.
delivering whatever. It's just that's all I saw. And then when he's trying
Jeff
to hit
Winger
on,
does the news.
yeah, exactly. And then like when he's hitting on Scully, I was like, oh, this is like it
Winger.
just yeah, exactly.
Winger.
So yeah, that was kind of a little jarring for but people who don't watch Community, I'm sure didn't have that problem. But yeah, it kind of just rammed in straight away of like, I just thought it was hilarious as well that it's like the whole thing about episode 1 was that everything that had happened previously was all a big lie, essentially. That like, you know, Mulder
Yeah.
was kind of saying like, you know, well, the whole thing was that everything that had happened since Roswell was completely kind of man-made, and was there's that sort of super army out there that was going to like take over the world, which in one way I kind of thought was smart enough, because like back in the 90s, there was this whole kind of trend of like conspiracy theories and aliens and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like where people's heads are at. But then at the start of that episode, or was it episode 2, when he was saying like they was showing an interview with Barack Obama and Jimmy Kimmel or one of those,
Yeah.
and he was like, oh, my work has become a joke. And I think
Yeah.
it's kind of like an acknowledgement to the fact that, you know, like we've all kind of moved past that. Like
Yeah.
maybe there are aliens out there, but like the main problems now are
is corrupt
here.
government and
Yeah,
Big Brother's
exactly.
stalls and surveillance.
Yeah, and that's-
Edward Snowden, which
yeah.
they talked about as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it would have been way too much of a leap. Not even too much of a leap, but at the time, the 90s were just so busy with like, no, it could be this. But now it's like, okay, how are we going to expand the X-Files? Well, like, let's make it more of a like a, you know,
Yeah.
Big Brother's watching you type of thing. And that like, because it kind of doesn't even seem that far-fetched now that like,
Yeah.
well, maybe they are faking these alien things and, you know, taking, I don't know if they're taking alien DNA. But so I did kind of like that they chose that angle to go down with it. But they did sort of ram that whole theory down our throats.
Yeah.
And that was fine. And then the second episode was more a return to form, I thought.
Yeah. On the first one, though, I kind of just felt like every time someone encountered something, like when Mulder found that like alien or man-made alien spaceship that flew and turned invisible and disappeared, he was like, cool. And it was like, what? You spent your entire life looking for your sister
Looking
who
for
was
this.
abducted by aliens. You see a spaceship and go,
Yeah.
like what?
I guess it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what was that? And then, like, the way they kind of, like, everything kind of was wrapped up with your one getting killed, and, like, by what looked like, you know, it's an alien ship, but it's men now, and,
Yeah,
like, John
yeah.
McHale getting
His show
reframed
was
by...
closer, yeah.
whatever. Like, they just sorted it all out. It was just a bit like... So why aren't Mulder and Scully targets now? And what? Like, it's
Yeah. I feel like that's the ongoing background story, though, that will come back in. Like, that's the one that they'll, like... Because they did say that it's going to follow a one-episode narrative, that is in, like, there'll be different stories.
Yeah.
But I do think that this whole thing, that will be kind of the finale, this chase for the truth and this super army and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I feel
I don't know
like...
why I keep calling it a super
Super
army.
army.
I don't know if they've called it that, but that's just in
It's
my
in
head.
your head
now.
is what you're
Yeah.
calling it.
The super army.
But I mean... Okay, so if that was true, I would like to have seen elements of that in episode 2 and 3, but maybe we haven't. They've been just too subtle and I haven't noticed.
Well,
because I
episode-
feel like the first one, it was such
Yeah.
a mess with how much they tried to cram in. If they're trying to have this gentle arc that we're going to come to a conclusion, it went peak, nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't want to start building it up now, or else the last episode is going to be even more of a mess. They're going to be like, sorry, Mary's been after you the whole time.
Well, I
Run for your
thought
life."
episode 2 was carrying that on because it was the baby DNA stuff. Because that was the end of episode 1 where Scully had realised that she had alien DNA and so did the other girl.
Mm-hmm.
So then it was the whole thing of like, that it was the government.
I thought
and
she
all the
didn't
rest.
have alien DNA.
No, she said that and then she got it retested. And then at the end she's saying to Mulder, she was like, I got it tested, she does and I do. Let's get these sons of bitches. It was really corny.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the episode 2 then was the whole thing of like your man that was Desperate Housewives husband guy was in it, Dr. Goldman.
Yeah, so if we pause for a second on
Yes.
it. So again, like this, every actor it's in it feels like the show has become like a mechanism for all these great guest actors that they're either like mates with or want to work with.
Yeah.
Because in episode 3, there's
Loads of them.
loads of them. It's
Yeah.
just constant. You're kind of like, look at all these actors I recognize from other shows who are like having the time of their lives being in the X-Files. It's like when the X-Files was in The Simpsons. It's
Yeah,
like it's an
yeah.
honor. It's so jarring. I want I want them to go back to kind of unknown, so I'm not sure who the super children are.
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of a super isn't the fucking adjective of this podcast. But like who the children are or who the thing is. It's the second you see like Bree's husband? No. Felicity Huffman's husband from Desperate Housewives. You're like, oh, well, he's either going to be the evil guy or the superhero of the thing. And then, of course, he's the evil guy.
Well, yeah, I didn't find it that jarring. I was like, how do I know that guy? Oh, yeah, Desperate Housewives. But I was kind of okay with that. But yeah, how I thought it linked in was that he was one of the sort of kind of people on the ground that was fulfilling this super army policy, and like, you know, it was all about the government and all the rest, and he worked for the government, and you know, his wife that was off in a crazy mental home was kind of saying like that was the problem, that he worked for the government, and that's why they had the babies with the alien DNA and doing all the weird stuff. So I thought that was kind of staying on track, and the whole thing with William as well, so you know he has to come back into it, their son, because there was all these weird flashbacks that are so bizarre. Oh my god,
it's just jarring off of flashbacks, and they just again felt like they were trying to put too much into one episode and tell us too much without like showing it gently or showing the reaction. It tired me. And also like I don't remember, maybe it was just the 90s and maybe it's my age, but I don't remember it being as like schlocky. It's in like, oh, I'm going to burst this window and you're going to go flying across the room, you know, and all these things. Oh, it was just
I do think like even watching both for first two episodes, which we'll get to the third episode, but I think that's kind of standalone, the third episode. But there was that whole thing of like, I was just delighted that I was watching the X-Files again, but there was loads I was letting slide because of that. But well, I guess I was aware of it, so you know, even the theme tune, and I was like, yay, Mulder and Scully, la la, you know. But there was loads. I can't imagine, say, someone watching it with fresh eyes now, they might be like, this is really corny, obvious television. Yeah. But like, even the way the music kind of simmers under the background and like, but so much of it, I was kind of like, God, fair play to them. They actually have stayed so true to the original format down to like the nitty gritty of it, that I was kind of like, almost that might have sort of hindered it, as in it being like a relevant and great TV show now, because TV has just come on leaps and bounds since the days we were blown away by the X-Files.
I think it's bad and naff in a way. It just feels like a pastiche. Like it just feels so throwback in a way that it's like, oh, it's like you nod to it, you know, give a little wink. The third episode is good and that it gives little winks, but it like has current humor instead of being like 90s humor, which I don't know what 90s humor would have been. Maybe like how you doing? I don't know.
Could we be any funnier?
Exactly. Like it just, I don't know. It struck me. I never felt comfortable with it. Yeah. And I don't know if it's just seeing David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson on screen together again, but I almost felt like they didn't seem comfortable with some of the words they were saying. Maybe they were kind of like just getting used to being these characters again, but it just felt so hammy. Yeah. Like it didn't click with me at all. Yeah. I
thought Mulder and Scully definitely still had that chemistry going on. But there was something I was reading recently, and it was like they have that thing now where, especially in the third episode, it's like they're no longer the will they, won't they. So it's no longer this like something. It's kind of like, oh, we've already done that. We've had a kid. We're fine. We're just mates now. You know, that way. So I kind of like that there's a new dynamic, but at the same time, you still kind of see like there's that spark there. Like, you know, like even when in the third episode, you know, when your man's like making up the story about being off with her, you know, and he's kind of like, that didn't happen, you know, so like, that's my Scully, you know, that way, but I'm not actually sure if she's my Scully or not, but there's definitely this thing of like, you almost kind of want them to get back together, but you're like, oh, we already know how that whole story went, it's not the kind of huge focus anymore, it's just like, oh, like, so I feel like so much of it is almost just sort of like, it's like this one kind of present gift or homage or something for the fans, you know, that way.
It's very much for the fans.
It's for the fans. Like even episode 3 is like, there's so many little Easter eggs in it. Like there's the gravestone in the graveyard is Kim Manners, who was the executive producer that died at some point over the course of the X-Files. There's loads of little stuff in it that, like, you know, even the third episode like referred back to a lot of previous storylines. It's so in that way, I'm thinking like I wasn't even a hardcore fan. Like I was kind of the regular Joe fan, like yourself, that was sort of dabbled in and out of it and known most of the storylines, got a lot of the movies. Yeah. But that was back in the day where you couldn't just series link or, you know, like, so if you missed an episode, that was it. You just never saw it again, you know. So so I do think it is that. But at the same time, when I watched last night's episode, what's it called? We're Monsters. I think that was the name of it. Yeah. But I don't know. It was funny and it was entertaining, and I kind of had forgot that X-Files could be like that at times. Yeah. That could be kind of self-deprecating and, you know, poke fun at itself in that way. And it was, I think what was his name? I wrote it down. Darren Morgan was the writer behind it, and he's the one who did a lot of the kind of kind of broke up the seriousness of all the episodes down the years by throwing in one of his scripted episodes, because it was always sort of a bit sort of just ripped the piss out of X-Files, but not so much that you'd kind of alienate the viewer type thing. So did you enjoy it, the third episode? I'm waffling on here.
I was in shock because, again, like, I don't remember the X-Files being funny. I remember the X-Files having elements of humor in the characters. And especially, was it the three gentlemen or what they were called? Those three nerds?
Yeah.
Like, there was always like a character or someone who were like, they've got a bit of humor, or they've got a joke about something that's quite dark. But I don't remember it being like full-on slapstick, like meta comedy. I was like, what show
it was
am I
rare,
watching?
but it did happen.
I felt like I was watching Buffy.
Yeah.
I was really just like,
was that kind of,
it was like, you know yourself too well.
Yeah.
That I'm almost uncomfortable. Like, I was like, at points I did laugh out loud. I was like, what is this show? I was like, what I'm saying. And your man from Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah, exactly.
Who I was just like, they're just letting him run with this thing. So it's not even about Mulder and Scully, really.
Yeah.
It's like this crazy
And the other
monologue.
guy was from Silicon Valley as well, right? The guy that ended up being the murderer guy, I'm sorry, what's your man's name? Like, why can't I think of the Buffy writer's name?
Joss Whedon.
Josh Whedon, yeah. It was kind of like maybe not as quick as the Joss Whedon type of thing, but it was that sort of dark humor and, you know, just poking fun at itself.
Yeah, and like the creature being normal. And like at the end of it, you're like, I was thinking back then, I was like, no, wait, other people did see the monster in monster form. I was like, or is this all just in Mulder's head and he's actually having a breakdown?
Yeah.
But
it was like one nice little bubble, I think, that was to kind of break up. Like, I do think it'll be returned to form next week and it'll be all serious, dark stuff. But like, even, you know, the end of it where he's like screaming, I want to believe. And it's like, he's kind of, it's just basically Mulder's journey. But like, the start of it was him throwing pencils at the poster. Yeah. Which I tweeted out actually that didn't he rip up the poster?
But Scully says in the first
says she gave him.
That's my poster.
Yeah. But I was like, why does she have a poster as well?
Because maybe he gave her one back in the day. Maybe that's another Easter egg that we just don't know.
Continuity is just lacking there.
Or maybe it's super continuity that we don't know about because we're not super fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Super, again, the word of this podcast.
Yeah, I know. I was even hesitant to tweet anything about it because, you know, there's such hardcore fans that know every single detail that ever happened that will have an answer for it. So I was like, oh, never mind.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I did like the third episode. As I said, I was kind of laughing along, but I think I was a good 20 minutes in before I realized, maybe not 20 minutes, but 10 or 15 minutes where I was like, I'm supposed to be laughing here. This is a funny episode. You know, because there was a while I was like, I mean, it was pretty obvious, but I was like, is this going to just, I thought initially it was just like particularly more funny episode. I was like, oh no, wait, this is going to be the whole like slapstick episode.
Full-on comedy. Like a comedy hour of like, it's, I don't know, why wasn't Jill McHale in that episode?
I know. And kept him as the comedy character as opposed to someone we're supposed to take seriously.
Yeah. Also, maybe be like, Gillian Anderson needs to be in more comedy.
Yeah.
100%. Because we've seen, like, David Duchovny did Californication. And, like, he showed he has those chops. But Gillian Anderson, Gillian Anderson in his fantasy story.
Oh, hilarious, yeah.
Like, she is brilliant. And I'm just like, okay, someone give her, maybe not a sitcom, but she needs to be in
she could totally pull off some sort of,
She should be in that new Sarah Jessica Parker divorce thing.
Yeah. She could definitely do it. Or else, I don't know, maybe even do more comedy.
Sharon Horgan needs to put Gillian Anderson in that show.
There you go.
That would be amazing.
Oh, God, it really would. So, yeah, I don't know now. There's 3 episodes left. Do you think they're going to get another season out of it?
Oh, no. Well,
no.
I'm almost going to say I hope not, because as much as, like, this has been entertaining, and it's like, oh, let's go on this little journey together and revisit
back
it.
in time.
But
our little time machine back
I
to
almost
90s.
feel that, like, it's so back in time
that
I'm like, okay, it's almost like, it's like, you know, on the Oscars, there's the in memoriam, they show clips, and you're like, oh, that was lovely, because it wasn't that great, that's a nice little thing.
Yeah.
And it's done. It was like, if you had to watch loads of them, you'd be like, God, we've moved on. Thank God that's over.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. A lot of it. I'm just like, this is just a bit.
I do too. I'm like, this is lovely, and 6 episodes are great, and I'm really enjoying the trip down memory lane, and it's great seeing some, like, those 2 amazing characters. It'd be the same thing like if a Friends reunion happened. You'd really want to see a few episodes to see where they were all at. To be like, please don't give us another 5 seasons or 10 seasons. You know, that way, we just kind of wanted to check in on you. Now we see that you're doing fine.
Yeah.
Let's all carry on with our lives again. So that's how I feel about the X-Files. But then saying that, hardcore fans out there would probably be like, God no, like, you know, they'd want loads more of it. So I can understand that perspective, but just for the average TV viewer, I'd say the 6 could be enough.
I don't know, unless what they do is that this is Mulder and Scully bowing out, and they're going to bring in 2 fresh ones, and
I hope they don't
they're going to do a whole Saved by the Bell, the college years, or what was it called, the new class.
Yeah, but they kind of did that when they finished off with the X-Files. Didn't Mulder leave, and then it was Gillian Anderson and the Terminator guy, that actor.
But then Mulder came back.
Yeah, but it was kind of, they did the whole like let's try replace it and move on thing when they were like,
I don't know. I have a feeling they might leave it open ended with like them.
Oh my
being
god, Jeff Winger, that'd be amazing.
Winger,
Just
or
make it his
someone
file.
else. There'll be a new 2, and then maybe it'll become a fresher show. Because I was thinking when I was watching the first episode and being like, this is a hot mess. Like if you want good sci-fi, and a good example of a sci-fi mystery show that was like very much a child of the X-Files, and like it was something that people who watch X-Files would like, was a show called Fringe.
Oh yeah,
that was on back in the day, which was very much like, you know, weird sciencey thing of the week that will kind of explain but sort of won't, and had an ongoing mystery, and it was like different dimensions and stolen children,
Yeah,
but was enthralling and gripping, and also funny in its characters, in their interactions, and also had weirder episodes, but never made you feel so like, oh, so I'm watching a comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm supposed to be scared, but I don't feel scared.
Yeah.
I feel like if they were going to reboot it or bring it back, they need to fall into more of look at Fringe.
Yeah.
And see how that did, because that was also on Fox, I think.
Yeah.
And bring more of those elements and just make it more contemporary, because I still just feel like it's dated.
Yeah.
It's almost felt like it like panto to me.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, I agree, but at the same time,
Disagree.
I disagree. Well, to be honest, all I want is for X-Files just to be wrapped up into a tiny little file and put in the filing cabinet.
Yeah.
But I just, at this point, I'm like, no, like let another show do that. Let another show kind of go off the back of the success of the X-Files revival and go, let's make something for the fans of X-Files of like past, and like kind of make it, and just stop trying to keep shoving the X-Files down our throat now. It's like, yeah, we did it. We
The
love
Y
it.
Files.
Yeah.
Why? Who
Why?
cares?
Who cares? So yeah, I just hope that they sort of do the 6-part episode, leave it as this lovely little homage for the fans, wrap things up, let us see the sun now, let them be reunited with the sun. Maybe they'll step into some weird time machine and they'll never have had to adopt the sun. And you know, I was just like, wrap it all up now, answer every last question. And you know, it's great for David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson is that like, well, they're both kind of doing well enough and have done well since, but you know, it is good for people to be reminded that they were these iconic characters. So I'm sure it's not going to do their career any harm at all for this to be back in their roles. But yeah, I do think it's lovely, it's going well. 3 more episodes, I'm really looking forward to see where it goes, but I don't think I need anything more than that.
Yeah, same. I don't think I need anything more. I'm kind of like, even if somebody tell me, oh sorry, actually there's lots 3 episodes, we're not going to show them, I'd be like, oh, that's a shame. Get on with my life. Game of Thrones is coming back in
We've
April.
all had a lovely time.
Yeah. There's plenty of TV for me to be watching.
Yeah.
So, you know,
see, that's it. There's just so much good stuff up. And I didn't even feel like the X-Files, even on social media or anything like that. I mean, I guess I don't know, I just felt in Ireland particularly, like there wasn't really, no one's tweeting about it. No one's talking about it that much. I thought it'd be much more of a TV event. Maybe it is in America. I don't know.
Maybe they thought the same too. I just don't think there's an audience for it there anymore because it's a bit too dated.
Yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, so far, it's grand.
So far, it's nice to see.
It's nice. It's lovely. It's like a warm, nostalgic hug from the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, Friends reunion though, that should be the next thing.
If they can ever get them all in one room.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, any final words, or have we covered it all?
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to wrap it up. I think the fact they only have given themselves 6 episodes and had set a bit of another different plot in motion is a bit worrisome. They're going to have like a Lost problem where it's like, look at all these things we said we'd answer, but
why was the polar bear there, Mulder?
Yeah. That would be a good crossover.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, after the first episode, my expectation bar dropped significantly, so anything else will probably be a pleasant surprise.
I do think the way it's going to go is this whole thing, they'll discover a lot more that the government's involvement with all this alien activity. They're also going to find their son in an episode. That has to happen because there's no way they're giving this much airtime to them being missing their son if William isn't going to come into it at some point as whatever, a 15-year-old or 16-year-old with some sort of superhuman powers, I'd assume, because he also has alien DNA. So I figured that's going to be a big part of it. Maybe Mulder and Scully, I don't even know if they're going to bother trying to get them back together, but yeah, I think the son is going to be the kind of emotional tug of it all, and then the whole sci-fi part will be this, like, is it humans? Is it aliens? Is it the Avengers? Are we actually, was it a Marvel TV show the whole time? Okay, I guess we'll leave it there. So do let us know what you think. I'm sure if you're a hardcore fan, you'll just think that we're
mad. But let us know, are you happy it's back? Are you sad it's back?
Yeah. Should there be a season 2?
That's the
main question. The main question. Okay, thanks very much for listening.